Just observe the inhalation, exhalation. The point where the breath turns from exhalation to exhalation, inhalation, that point Brahman is there. The mind is quiet, alert, fresh, focusing on the breath. And then we shift to our emotions and thoughts. The emotions come and go. Some remain, linger for some time. Thoughts come and go. Both emotion, thoughts are inert. I am illumining the thoughts and emotions, and I am the illuminator. I am the seer, not the scenery. Emotions and thoughts are the scenery. Let us focus the entire attention on the seer, the illuminator, the knower, the observer, the witnesser of thoughts, emotions, breath, body, surrounding events. At this moment, I have nothing to do, nothing to gain, nothing to know. Just residing in the beingness. So meditation is shifting from doingness to beingness. Let us invoke God's and Guru's grace to keep us on this path and help us to overcome all obstacles of the thoughts and mind, again and again going to the idam. Om. 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 Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
अखंड मंडलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। स्थावरं जङ्गमं व्याप्तं यत्किञ्चित् सचराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। चिन्मयं व्यापि यत् सर्वं त्रैलोक्यं सचराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव। सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम् ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ ईशावास्यमिदगं सर्वं यत्किञ्च जगत्यां जगत् तेन त्यक्तेन भुञ्जीथाः मा कृतः कस्य स्विद्धनं कुर्वन्नेवेह कर्माणि जिजीविषेच्छतगं समाः एवं त्वयि नान्यथेतोऽस्ति न कर्म लिप्यते नरे कुर्वन्नेवेह कर्माणि जिजीविषेच्छतगं समाः एवं त्वयि नान्यथेतोऽस्ति न कर्म लिप्यते नरे.
Hari Om Vidya, thank you. So we are doing Isavasya Upanishad. First mantra, Isavasyam idagam sarvam yat kincha jagatyama jagata. So this advice is for Uttam Adhikari, and here the main point is Jnana Nishtha. So those who are writing notes, they must write each mantra is one Nishtha will come. So when we are doing summary, we must remember first mantra this Nishtha, second mantra this Nishtha, third mantra this, fourth mantra this. So here the message to the Uttam Adhikari is that renounce the false identification, renounce the three desires, do not covet anything, and pervade this entire Jagata, Jagatyam Jagata, inside Jagat, outside Jagat, both with the Isha. And the Uttam Adhikari listens to this and meditates and realizes, because he has already renounced before reaching the Guru's ashram. Second mantra is Karmanishtha. Jnananishtha, I understand at intellectual level all these things, but I am not yet prepared to renounce. I have not renounced many desires. I still am very much interested in lot of actions. So the second mantra is called as Karmanishtha for Madhyam Adhikari. And here the point what is important, what is given is that Jiji Vishet, suppose you want to live for 100 years. 100 years is a example taken. Suppose whatever number of years we want to live, then the only way, Kurvan eva iha karmani, the only way is to do our duty. That is the only way. Now when Bhagavan says only way, we have to give more importance, significance to this, because he is not giving any other way. And why he is giving this mantra here, that we will also understand when the third mantra comes. Because third mantra is telling us that if you don't do these two, then you are going to go to lower world. So there is no other way. Either you renounce and follow Jnana-nishtha and meditate Shravan, Manan, Nididhyasam, or you do Karma Yoga. So very important. That's the reason Karma Yoga becomes very important for us to understand what is Karma Yoga. And here what has been mentioned, that if you do not do this, then Anyatha iti asti na karma lipyate nare, then this karma will not bind you, otherwise this karma will bind you. And that's the reason after doing lot of karma and duty again and again, we feel that my mind is not peaceful. Restlessness is there. But then I wonder that I'm doing my duty. What wrong I did? I just got into school, got some marks, went into college, studied, got some job, got married, 2 children, one house, one car, traveled across some globe, some countries. What wrong I did? But still, why I'm not finding that peace, manas shanti, because I have not done the duty properly. So what is the definition of duty? That action which helps us in manifesting our own divine nature. Important pointer to note. Any action which is taking away from forgetting this divine nature is not our duty. What are the two principles of duty? This is very important, that freedom and love. Any duty we are doing under burden, bondage, as a compulsory act, with no energy, just doing abhi kaisa bhi chal raha hai. But I am doing my duty, that duty will not liberate me. So freedom and love are the two principles on which duty is working upon. What is the purpose of doing this duty? Chitta Shuddhi and Vasana Kshaya. Otherwise, vasanas will keep on increasing, and that is the reason Bhagavan is saying is that Lipyate Nare, that otherwise it will bind you. What will bind us? What binds us actually is our dislikes, our ignorance, our attachments, false attachment. These are the things which binds us. So whenever we do any action, there are so many things happening outside and inside us. We must be careful enough now. What am I thinking? Because thinking is an action. What am I emoting? Emoting is an action. What am I taking a decision? Decision is an action. Internally, even though I don't act with karmendriya. Many people think, no, but I'm not acting outside. But acting inside is very powerful, because that is creating the vasana. That is creating the phala. The phala comes inside, and then outside also phala comes. That may be later on, but inside phala comes immediately. So as we discussed last time, Adi Shankaracharya says that this is the entire Vedic concept of Jnana, Nishtha and Karma Nishtha. So one must be very clear about these two. This is what is entire Upanishad. So now we will just revise Karma Yoga principles as significance is given. And this is the only way now left for all of us. So what are the Karma Yoga principles? Number 1, perform obligatory duty cheerfully, not some actions like dana, puja is Karma Yoga. Very important. Some people think if I do some good and do some dana, go and do some good karma, serve outside in some mission, that is Karma Yoga. No, no, no. Karma Yoga is doing all the actions cheerfully without attachment. And here some mentions are given about Bhagavad Gita quotes. Niyatam kuru karmatvam. That is the duty. That is performing obligatory duty. Second, do actions for the Lord. Upadesh Sar says this verse we must by heart. Ishwararpitam nechaya kritam. Chitta shodakam mukti sadhakam. Ramana Maharshi says all actions you do for God. And which God? He is not telling some God in the temple. He is saying Ashtamurti Bhru. Consider this world as God and then do actions. Ashtamurti Bhru means 8 things which are there, which we last session in Bhagavad Gita also, Lord mentioned about 8 things which are there in the manifest form. So do actions for the Lord. And if we want to do actions for the Lord, we take bath, we do make prasad, and then we have so much of holiness. Same feeling I must have while doing every action. I will become very careful. What am I talking? How am I walking? What am I emoting? What is my attitude? If we observe our Swamis, they are so careful. We should all observe Swami Advayananji whenever you get time. Very difficult to observe him. But I think whenever I see him, meet him, whatever I've interaction I've had, every action I feel that he's doing for God. I just feel it. Even he's talking to me, I think he's talking like every word is measured and no word here and there. Very careful in every word in normal day-to-day transactions also. That much care and attention and alertness we must have, because every word can create vasana in likes and dislikes in me. Third principle of Karma Yoga, this slide is very important because this is Karma Yoga principles, the entire summary of Karma Yoga, different verses mentioned in the Gita. Drop attachment, insistence, resistance to the result. Karmanneva dhikaraste, because my only control is on the action and I must focus only on that. Whenever I am in trouble or whenever I am frustrated, irritated, or any unpleasant emotion is happening with me or any situation, I must only ask one question. What is in my control? What is not in my control? Solution will come. Most of us get troubled about things which are not in my control. Karmanneva dhikaraste. I only what one adhikar Lord has given. Only one adhikar in this entire universe, only one adhikar. No other adhikar Lord has given to us. That is a choice of action. Know that you are only an instrument. Nimitta matram bhava savya sachin. You are only an instrument. I have already fought the war. I have already killed the Kauravas. You are only nimitta matra, my dear. Arjun is telling. Before the war is fought, is telling Arjun. With this, ego arrogance reduces quite a bit. Self-significance need for appreciation has to reduce, and that can only happen when we actually create that bhava in us that I am your instrument, like Hanumanji. Serve in a common higher cause. Shift from individual to team player. This is a very important point because many people say, no, I don't want to work in a team. I don't want to work in a committee. I don't want to, I will do whatever job which is given to me alone, but that is not going to work. Here it says yajnarth. Yajna means you have to practice working for a common cause, because only when we work in team, we understand how frictions happen. And that's the reason family is a team, and that's the reason we are getting into marriage life, because frictions are going to happen. My opinion, your view, my view, your knowledge, my knowledge. And that is where I understand how much shift I need to do from individual player to team player, because there are some people who are very good in individual games. But as a team player, they cannot work because small things they get upset, small things, the mind changes and the whole divinity goes out of the mind when we start functioning outside. But I have to do it, because then only I can test myself in between, whether I get upset or whether I remain cheerful in a team, whether I accept all people as they are and as they are not. Total surrender is equal to total acceptance of God's manifestation, manifested world. Total acceptance is equal to total surrender. Acceptance is not equal to tolerance, but I accept all your drawbacks, all your faults, because each person is made up of different angles. There are some good ones, there are some bad ones. And the best thing to remember is that there is a difference in salt, sugar, and spice. We treat them differently. Similarly, we treat with people, accepting the nature of them as it is. Not demanding, not expecting something more what they are not. No, my spouse is like this, my children are like that, my neighbors are like that, my team members are like that, my relatives are like that, but that is not following Karma Yoga. Love the very action, work itself, result becomes insignificant. Bathing is an action, brushing is an action, washroom is an action, cooking is an action, eating is an action, transact is an every action, the love must be there, passion. Not out of boredom, tiredness. Do work efficiently, not somehow. Don't compromise, because this is Lord's work. Yoga karmasu kaushalam. So this Lord says to Arjun that Partha, one whose goal has become God now. Do not attach our worth to our work. This is a very important message. Some people say, I'm not good. I will not be able to do. I am not good enough. But your work is not good enough. You are very good. You are divinity. Your Swarup is Satchidananda. Why you are attaching your work to your worth? My worth is Satchidananda. These are very, very important things, because in small thing, people say, no, I am one small person. I will not be able to do. I am not so important. I am so insignificant because my work is like that. But work and worth are two different things. My worth is Satchitananda Swarup. After reading Upanishad, we must not come down from that level, at least that thinking level. What is my worth? I am that. Do not do actions keeping comfort as the goal. Share the results of actions before enjoying. Whatever results I get, I must share and then enjoy. Focus on your swadharma. Swadharme nidhanam shreya paradharmo bhayavar. Do not compare what other people are doing. Do not say that you have got this, I am not only doing this, you are doing that, I am doing this, because this happens so unconsciously, so unknowingly, that we start comparing ourselves with people. And then the entire message we had seen in Bhagavad Gita, Nirashi. We always say this in our meditation: drop future anxiety, but plan with faith for the future. Nirmamo, drop past regrets, but remember the lessons. Drop the tensions in the present tense, Vigata Jwara, but keep the attention and focus on here and now, and then fight, Lord says, and then meditate, and then transact. Attitude in duty must be what? This is the summary of entire Karma Yoga. Before action, Seva Bhav. During action, Prema Bhav. After action, Prasada Bhav. So in short, we have covered this Karma Yoga principles. We must read these Karma Yoga principles every day. Every day we must read this. As I mentioned that we must actually chant every day 4 Mahavakyas. I must chant every day Mano Buddhi Ankar Chittaminam, to tell that I am not this body, I am not this mind, I am not this intellect, I am not Ahankara. I must also read all these things every day, because 3/4 our time goes into transaction with the world. And then after Isavasya Upanishad, we should add this mantra also every day to chant Isavasyam idagam sarvam yat kincha jagatyam jagatam. What it says is that pervade entire world with Isha. That means all people are Isha only. Where is the scope of cribbing, complaining, comparing, criticizing, blaming? So this is the Karma Yoga principle. Now Bhagavan says in Isavasya Upanishad that if you are not able to do even both and you forget, the third mantra, I would request Vidya to chant twice. The third mantra says that the gati will be difficult. So this is called as a warning mantra. Warning. In Bhagavad Gita also says pranachati. If you don't do this, you will go to lower gatis. So now the third mantra is a ajnana nishtha. There is no nishtha as such, but first is just to remember jnana nishtha. The second is karma nishtha. Third is ajnana nishtha. Those who are ignorant about the self, and those who are ignorant about how to act in this world, their gati will be different. What will be that gati is mentioned in this third mantra.
असुर्यानामते लोकाः अन्धेन तमसा वृताः तागंस्ते प्रेत्या विगच्छन्ति ये के चात्महनो जनाः असुर्यानामते लोकाः अन्धेन तमसा वृताः तागंस्ते प्रेत्या विगच्छन्ति ये के चात्महनो जनाः.
So what has been mentioned here is that these people, as if they are doing suicide, suicide. India is a capital. If I degrade myself, if I think lower about myself, it is a suicide. So that will come to a point, that particular point, that word is very important. We must note down Atmahana. That we are going to discuss in detail what that word means. Okay, there was some objection in between. So there is one objection mentioned here. Sorry, I forgot. How can you say these two mantras are meant for different people? So the answer is Jnana Karma are entirely different, like mountain, and their nature is different, their result is different, which is already discussed. One is for renunciate, another is for karmi. The result to attain from both are different, and Bhagwan Adi Shankaracharya in his Bhashya gives lot of references from Taittiriya Upanishad and Vedas, that entire Vedas mention that these two mantras are meant for different adhikaris. See how people are objecting. How can you say that one is for Uttamadhikari and another is for Madhyamadhikari? Is it not that both mantras are for one person? He says, no, no, no. These mantras can be practiced by one person, but meant for different persons. Because this point is very important, which Adi Shankaracharya always brings about in his commentary or bhashya, is that what is the point of view, what is the context for whom this mantra is mentioned. Further also we are going to see he's mentioning that further mantras, the last few mantras are for the upasakas, not for the sitaprajna, one who is enlightened person. So in Mahabharata also Nivritti, Pravritti Marga are different. So both are given for different qualified seekers. But if I am not qualified for these two also, then Adi Shankaracharya says that going to be difficult. And before that, we must remember one Nyaya called as Nahi Ninda Nyaya. Logic. This is a logic. What is this Nahi Ninda Nyaya? Something is criticized to glorify something. So we can see in day-to-day life, why people criticize others. Why they put down others. Why they say that wo acha nahi hai. Because indirectly what they are saying that main acha hu. See that person has done such a bad quality of work. Indirectly what I am doing, nahi ninda nyaya. Indirectly what I want to say, I am a better person. So now we should start relating that how this nahi ninda nyaya only people are using in most of the time. I criticize others, I put down others, I tell others are not good enough because somewhere I want to say that I am better or something else is better. To glorify myself, to glorify something else. So that is nahi ninda nyaya. So here, what it is being mentioned here is that please do not consider in Upanishad that there is ninda done of some people, but to glorify the first two paths. This warning is given that if you do not follow this, then this is going to happen. Ajnana path. So first is jnana path, second is karma path, this is ajnana path. So now we remember the verses in line, so summary when we do, this is how we must remember in short. This is called as a sutra. Jnana path, karma path, ajnana path. Okay, first three mantras I remember easily what is the significance. Then the fourth to eight, there is another path is going to come that we will see. Not path, it is going to come about Isha. So I am not ready for meditation, I am not ready for karma yoga, I am not interested to listen to this knowledge, then what will be this result? Asurya namate lokan, andhena tamasa vrutam. So we will see, sunless are those worlds and enveloped in blinding gloom, to which, this is Gurudev, to which all those people who are slayers of their own souls go, departing from here. So we will see point-wise what is been mentioned here. What is the meaning of Asurya? What is the meaning of Andhena? So Asurya Nama, sunless, undivine, dark, no discrimination, place of Asuras. So I will go to place of Asuras. No self-knowledge, because there are some people who are not interested to know who am I, what is my real nature. Te Loka, where these people will go? Worlds or births are mentioned, where we experience karma phala inside us. In our own mind, we will experience this karma phala. All these lokas, there are two point of views. Either these lokas are there outside, 14 lokas, or these lokas are inside my mind only. When I feel frustrated, irritated, sad, angry, I am actually gone to Asurya Loka. When I am feeling jealous of somebody, Asurya Loka, because Asuras were jealous of Devas. Andhena, blinded by attachment to sense pleasure. Why these people are not able to think about the self, not interested in Isha, not interested to know what is my real nature. When we say Brahman, Atman, Sat, Chit, Ananda, Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma, Om Brahmavid Apnoti Param. No, I am not interested. What is there for dinner, where I want to go next, where I want to visit. This is happening like that is happening like that, this person is like that. Blinded by attachment to sense pleasure. Entire life goes in sense pleasure, so it is andhena. So the more and more we get into sense pleasure, there is a possibility that I will experience Asurya Loka in my mind only. Due to tamasa vruta, covered by ignorance. So ignorance puts a veil. So only this 1 hour, suppose I remember what is my nature, not enough. I must remember my nature in all transactions. So jnana and karma can go together. Who am I in reality? What am I doing? What am I talking? What am I seeking? One who does not use the senses properly means what? Please explain. So now Guruji explains it so beautifully. He says we have 5 karmendriyas and 5 jnanendriyas. This is such a beautiful explanation of this. So Guruji says that karmendriyas, when they are used for serving, then andhena tamasa will not happen. If karmendriyas are used for sense pleasure, there will be problem. And jnanendriyas for gaining the self-knowledge. So jnanendriyas must be used not for seeing WhatsApp and then YouTube and then what is happening here and there. Half of the time goes in that only. Jnanendriyas are becoming weak and weak. And they will become andha because these I am so interested in what is happening outside. So jnanendriyas must be used for self-knowledge. Karmendriyas must be used to serve. And if we use this to maximum, then I will not go to Asurya Namate Loka. This life itself goes in darkness. Next birth, life too will go in the lower worlds. Because suppose I am constantly seeking pleasures through the senses. And with the karmendriyas, I am only working towards achieving some sense pleasures. Then this birth also I may enjoy some pleasures for some time, but my gati will go to the next lower worlds. But then one important thing here mentioned. Rebirth mentioned in Upanishad here. Where is it? Here. Then you will go to Preta Yoni. So by the way, one important point we must remember, all of us go to Preta Yoni for some time. The body goes into 5 elements and the subtle body and the causal body will come out with the pranas and it will remain in a suspension form before it takes another body. That is Preta Yoni only. The only point what is being mentioned here is that those people who are continuously not using the senses and the organs of actions for these two, they will remain in the Preta Yoni for longer time. And that's the reason it has been mentioned at body level also. If a person does suicide, the person will go into Preta Yoni, will not get any other yoni. So suicide is not recommended. Yeke Atma Hano Jana. So karma and knowledge. So what gives the next gati? Very interesting here. Our Vedas says, so this is very important point which we had not discussed in Gita. So clearly it has been mentioned that my karma will give me a gati and my knowledge also will give me a gati. So suppose my knowledge says that I am this body, I am this body, I am body, mind, intellect, I am body, mind, intellect, I will get another body, mind, intellect. So what is my knowledge saying? So I must listen to Upanishad, and so again and again we must chant this mantra and remember, especially 4 to 8 mantras. They are going to give definition of Isha. So what is important? Whether I have done my duties properly, good actions, whether I am considering myself as BMI, whether I am considering myself as a transmigrating soul or this body or Satchitananda Swarup. On these two factors, my next gati will be decided. So knowledge aspect is also added here, not only karma gati, karma and jnana both. And that's the reason knowing this, reading this is very important, that I must constantly tell myself that my real nature is Satchitananda Swarup. Even though I have not experienced it right now, I must say my real nature is Satchitananda Swarup. My appearing nature is body, mind, intellect. That is a transactory self. This is a real self. And in between, there is a transmigratory self. 3 selves we are. So depending upon my karma and my jnana, I will become healthy, wealthy in the next birth. Depending upon my nature, what I am considering myself, convinced that my nature is Satchitananda, I will get gati into next birth where this knowledge will be fructified and I will get the surroundings accordingly. And then after death, we will go to this lower births. If we do not follow this, and if we follow this, we'll go to higher births. Second, we will keep coming into this sansara again and again and again and again. Depending on our karma, it will remain in the Preta Yoni. What happens after departing? If moksha is not attained, then I will keep going in the cycles. So this we have already discussed. Gross body goes into 5 elements. Subtle and causal body gets different gatis. A jnani, no gati, because causal and subtle body are already, mano nasha has happened. Jivan mukti has already happened to that person while living. So the subtle body, causal body is already in tune with the highest. The person doesn't have any ego. So the verse number 1 is for Sattvic person, karma, krama mukti, satya, loka, brahma loka, and from there, Surya Marga, they will go to mukti. That is one type of mukti. Bhishma was waiting for Uttarayan for this mukti. Verse 2, Rajasik, Chandra Marga, comes back to Bhulok, continues the journey, gets more Chitta Shuddhi, and from there one can get the Gati. And the third, why this important part is mentioned here, because those people who are tamasic will go to lower yonis. And what kind of next birth will come, that depends upon how much punya karma we have done. Suppose I have done some punya karma with some tamasic nature, then maybe we might get human birth. Otherwise, we might get other births also. Solution. What is the solution? Derive strength from dharma, not ego. What is the meaning? When I am ego driven, then I am BMI identified and I will get upset with small thing. I am handsome, I am beautiful, rich, famous, powerful, knowledgeable, smart. And then when this goes, I feel weak. So those people who feel weak most of the time, it is ego driven. If I am getting upset again and again, if I am feeling weak, if I am feeling I am not good for enough person, then I am ego driven person, because ego makes us do these kind of things. And what is dharma driven? I am Atma, I am Satchitananda, then I do Shravan, Manan, Nididhyasam, I do action for serving for Chitta Shuddhi, I have faith on scriptures, God, Guru, myself, I feel strong from within. So this is dharma driven life, and the first is ego driven life. Very important to note. So we are giving parameters to assess also. Whether I get upset, whether I feel weak, whether I feel helpless, whether I feel like I'm not good enough. This is ego driven, because ego almost makes us feel good, bad, happy, sorrow, all these fluctuations keep happening. But the person who does meditation regularly, slowly, the mind settles down. Slowly, the mind becomes quiet, alert, silent, ready for transcending. But for whom are you telling all these things? Who is an Atman? So they means who? Cha, who? Atman. Who is Atman? So we'll cover this point and complete. They commit suicide. Body level also it is crime, illegal. And they waste their life if the suicide happens. Now you might say, no, but we are not doing suicide at the body level. So who is a Atmana? Let us understand. One who does not recognize the real supreme self remains a beggar of happiness in the outside world. He is a Atmana. So if suppose I am going to print a questionnaire, in that this question will be there. At the end of Isavasya Upanishad, we'll have question answer session. And I am going to ask question. In that this question will be there. Who is an Atman? Define an Atman, a person. One who does not, one who remains ignorant about Atma, ignores Atma Vidya, ignores Atma Chintan is an Atman. One who wastes life in like dislike indulgences is Atman. One who lives like an animal, Ahara, Nidra, Bhaya, Maithuna. Four things, if these are occupying my mind, then I am like animal. One who wastes the natural talent, one who compromises is Atman. Whatever natural talent God has given, I must make the best use of that. Otherwise, I will become Atman. I compromise with what I know. I know that I am Brahman, I am Atman. If I compromise it, I am Atman. We are born with some potential. Not using it is wasting it. Why you say wasted? Human birth is real. Indulging in BMI sense pleasure is wasting it. Our real nature is Amara, Achala, immortal, unchanging, Satchitananda. Not realizing it is wasting it. Purpose of life is moksha. Artha, Kama, Dharma is the means. But Artha, Kama, Dharma becomes the goal, then it is waste of life. And Vivek Chudamani, we have already seen many times that rare is the human birth. Still rarer is the desire to have this. Still rarer is to have a guru like Swami Chinmayananda. Still rarer to understand this knowledge in this lifetime. Still rarer to have this desire to do Shravan, Manan, Nididhyasam continuously. With this rarity, suppose I waste life, then I become Atmana. Adi Shankaracharya has given lots of importance that who is an Atmahana. So now we have seen Jnana Nishtha, Karma Nishtha, Ajnana Nishtha. But then you're telling me again and again that you should think about Atma, you should think about Brahman, Atma Vidya. But what is the meaning of Isha? What is the nature of Isha? What is the nature of Atma, self, Brahman? So 4 mantras are coming, 4, 5, 6, 8, where the only topic, Vishaya, most beautiful one, is what is Atma. In Brahma Sutra also, the second sutra is Athato Brahma Jidnyasa, means now desire for Brahman. But what is Brahman? The next sutra is about definition of Brahman. So now we are going to get very beautiful pointers to know Isha. So those will be the next 4 mantras. So we are understanding how the Isavasya Upanishad is moving one by one step ahead. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.